Now, on the basis of the different criteria, the five kingdom classification was given. So, what are the basic criteria for these five kingdom classification? It includes the type of the cell. It means what type of the cell are present in the different organism which is classified under the different kingdoms. The cell wall means what are the composition of these cell wall, the mode of nutrition, how the living organism are taking their nutrition form, the mode of reproduction, and the several examples. So basically the kingdom first, that is the Monera, it includes the prokaryotic living organisms only, such as the microorganism. And they are the prokaryotic, it means they do not have a defined nucleus, though they have a nucleoid region in them which consists of the chromosome and their DNA structure, but they do not have the defined nucleus cell organelle. Okay, and the cell wall composition, we know that most of the bacterial group usually have the cell wall and they are made up of peptidoglycan. So peptidoglycan is the main composition of the cell wall, and their mode of nutrition is either the autotrophic or the heterotrophic, means they are either the self feeding microorganism or they depend on the other for the food. Mode of reproduction is basically the asexual. Most of the time it is asexual one, and the sexual is only the rare case, but sometimes only, but asexual is the mostly reproductive mode of the reproduction. Example includes the bacteria and the archaea. Next kingdom is the Protista. Protista, it includes the eukaryotic cell because they have the nucleus in them, and the cell wall basically it is made up of cellulose, and the mode of nutrition is either the autotrophic and the heterotrophic, just like that in the Monera group. And the mode of reproduction is the asexual and the sexual. Example includes amoeba, paramecium, and the algae. Okay. The third group is the fungi. Fungi is a third kingdom, and which includes the eukaryotic living organism, and they have the nucleus in them, and it has the cell wall which usually different from the other organism because they are chiefly and made up of the chitin molecule, or we can say it is a chief component of the cell wall which is usually present in the fungi. And the mode of nutrition is only heterotrophic, that is the absorption mode of nutrition. They only depend on the other for their food. The mode of reproduction is asexual. For example, mushroom and the yeast and various other examples. Next is the plantae. Plant basically includes the plants only, which are the eukaryotic one because they have a nucleus in them, they have the cell wall in them, and the cell wall basically it is made up of cellulose, and the mode of nutrition is always the autotrophic. That is the photosynthesis one, because only plant are responsible for the photosynthesis process. That is why they are the self-feeding or the self-producing food. These are the plant kingdom. The reproduction basically it includes the sexual reproduction. For example, the mosses, the fern, the flowering plant, all these are included in the plant kingdom. Next is the animalia. The animalia basically it includes the animal kingdom or various animals which are the eukaryotic one. We can say they have a eukaryotic means they have a nucleus, the well-defined nucleus membrane is there, or the nucleus cell organelle is there. But the main difference between the plant and the animal is that the animal kingdom usually do not have the cell wall in them. Okay, so they do not have the cell wall in them, and the mode of nutrition is heterotrophic, that is the ingestion one. They usually depend on the others, and the mode of nutrition is the ingestion. And a mode of reproduction is sexual, and this includes the insect, mammal, bird, several other categories of the animals. So, before the five kingdom classification, the major limitations of the organisms or the classification system was that the various organisms were placed in the different group. The similar group of organism they are placed in the distinct group, while the distantly related organism they are placed in the single group. So these all are basically differences in the earlier classification, but in the five kingdom classification, all the previous limitation or the mistake were definitely improved. Like in the case in the previous one, the bacteria, the blue-green algae, okay, the fungi, mosses, the gymnosperm, as well as the fungi, mosses, gymnosperm, okay, and angiosperm. So these all are present under the kingdom plantae, okay, and also the chlamydomonas and spirogyra. They are usually the spirogyra. They are placed under the algae. Means the unicellular as well as the multicellular organism, they are placed in the algae. Similarly, the grouped organism, it includes the prokaryotic one and the eukaryotic one together. So these are the are limitations before the five kingdom classification, and also the limitation were on the basis of the mode of nutrition. Like in the case of the heterotrophic group of organism, the fungi basically uh, uh, usually they have the cell wall composition different, while the autotrophic they have a different cell wall. So they are grouped together before the invention or the before the foundation of this five kingdom classification laid. That is why in the five kingdom classification, the fungi has given a different kingdom. Okay, different kingdom. Now let's take some question. The question is that why the cyanobacteria usually it kept in the Monera in the five kingdom classification. Why not in the plant? So we know that cyanobacteria is a photosynthetic bacteria. Okay, photosynthetic bacteria. So it is the bacteria, that is why it is kept in the Monera. It means they are the unicellular prokaryotes. That is why it is kept in the Monera in the five kingdom classification. Though it has a similarities with the plant kingdom. What are the similarities with the plant kingdom? It perform the process of photosynthesis. Means uh, it help in production of the oxygen, and also it converts the carbon dioxide to the organic compound. So this process is much similar to the plant, but it is usually conducted by the bacteria, that is a photosynthetic bacteria. So this feature similar to that of the plant, but it is not a plant. Later on, by the invention of the electron microscopy, it was found that these are the bacteria, and they do not have the nucleus structure in them, and various other structure classification or various other structure are not similar to that of the plant kingdom. That is why it is kept in the Monera kingdom, because they show similarity with the bacteria group only. So first important reason for this Monera for this cyanobacteria, why it is kept in the Monera in the five kingdom classification, is that it is the unicellular prokaryotic one, and despite their similarity to that of the plant, they are kept in the Monera because they have the different cellular structure. Cellular structure means they lack the true nucleus, while the plant usually have the, it is a eukaryotic one plant, and plant have the true nucleus present. Okay, second difference basically lies in the cell wall, and we know it belongs to the bacterial group. So their cell wall composition, it includes the peptidoglycan, and which is the main features of the bacteria only. That is why it is kept in the Monera kingdom. While in the plant kingdom, the plants usually have the cell wall, which is made up of cellulose. And besides the cellular structure and the cell wall, some other differences are there in the genetic composition, or the genetic differences were there in the evolutionary relationship. Okay, so these all are differences which were found in the cyanobacteria, and that is why it is kept in the Monera kingdom. It is not kept under the plant. Next question is, in the five kingdom division, the cholera and the chlamydomonas, it falls under which kingdom? Okay, so this cholera and the chlamydomonas, it falls in the kingdom Protista. Okay, these are the green algae and also the unicellular as well as eukaryotic organisms. So they fall under the kingdom Protista. Okay, because these are the unicellular eukaryotic organism, it did not fall into any other kingdom such as the plant, animal, or the fungal kingdom. So they are categorized as a different group of organism which fall in the Protista group. Earlier, the cholera and the chlamydomonas, they were kept in the algae kingdom or algae group, and these are the limitation of the previous known classification. So in the recent time, in the five kingdom classification, and the cholera and the chlamydomonas are usually placed in the Protista group.